Hello there, folks. I am back with a midnight movie review. This time we have The Cat in the Brain from 1990. Acclaimed Italian horror maestro Lucio Fulci, director of Zombie and the Beyond, stars in this blood-soaked epic as a director being driven insane by his own movies. Fulci is thrust into an ultra-violent nightmare of death and depravity when murder and mass madness consume his sanity in a vortex of violence. Cat in the Brain is a psychological masterpiece in the traditions such as cinematic classics as Psycho, Straitjacket, Eraserhead, and Fellini's 8.5. I forgot, Fellini is a French director. This is a 95-minute movie from 1990, and this one is probably his last great film or interesting film because it has what the F I'm looking for. Where is that? Presented with English and original language soundtracks never before seen, and it's got the Italian and English audio track with subtitles. Thank you. So how do I feel about this one? I enjoyed this one. It is delightfully perverse, and it is a nice, I guess, kind of overview of how Fulci's career was, and how when you direct so many movies, how it can affect who you are, and how it ultimately just what exactly can happen when you're being manipulated by a therapist in order for them to do their billing for you. Yes, that's right. We have director Fulci taking a fictionalized version of himself and also kind of taking a take that or understanding of those who always how being with the repeated exposure to this, how it can make one feel a little affected by it, I guess. So yeah, I like this one. It's perverse, it's delightful, and at 95 minutes it does not overstay its welcome. It's like we get to see what happens when a man consumed because he's been making these movies for so long. He goes and sees a therapist or a psychiatrist or whatever and says, hey, I'm feeling deeply disturbed. It's like I feel like I'm reenacting the scenes that I have directed and witnessed in my previous movies. So it's like, okay, then then he undergoes hypnotism, and his doctor was like, when you hear the sound, you will listen to the metronome. You'll only hear my words. When you hear the sound of a dentist's drill, yeah, you will see what it's like when you are being a serial biller. And then what follows is a nice, I guess, kind of take on the inverse of, how you always have those people who are saying, it's the horror movies, it's the music that's making the children corrupt. It's like, well, what if it actually did? What would be one avenue how this could be pursued? And of course, what follows is essentially what could happen if all the video nasties or every single movie that got censored. What if that actually did affect the youth or the whoever it is, And I think, I like this. I like how it's actually exploring the theme and also just showing how ridiculous it is. So it's like, take that, Italian's censorship board. But with this, it's bloody. Let's see, with the blood and a couple of favorite scenes of mine. In particular is where Fulci, I guess, in his state or whatever, is actually running over someone with his vehicle many, many times. A good 5 times. Reverses, goes forwards. Reverses, forwards. And it just gets bloodier and bloodier each time until finally his chest is pretty much just decomposed of just being stricken. It's oddly funny. There's also a prostitute who does offer her services, but Um, him with the fictionalized Fulci and not Fauci and that stupid Fauci phrase. I had to say Fulci instead, just like chops off her hand that was probably going to be used for a hand job, and then pretty much decapitates her, which would probably be used for fellatio. So I had to make a little joke like that somewhere, and I'm like, well, okay then, yeah. There's a person who pretty much gets another person who gets beheaded, like right here, and we just get to see the blood just pouring out. I mean, it's like you can see the body quivering, and through like the use of editing, it's like, oh, of course, all the actors were safe, which was always important. I'm like, geez, oh, peace. And of course, there's the perverse part that deals with it's like when he's filming, there's a nice kind of long-ish take of what can only be described as an orgy happening. It's like a lesbian scene. You got people having, you got like, you got a, yeah, you got that. You got people making out. You got food being eaten off a woman. And then my personal, and the most bald one was there's a naked woman atop a pool table, and the director's telling the actor, hey, get the ball in the pocket. And there is a nude woman lying supine on the table. You can infer. It's so delightfully perverse. You just gotta watch. But with everything I'm saying, it's obvious it's not for everyone. It's just, this is for horror fans, giallo fans, gore hounds. Is like a safe outlet to express their desires. But yeah, we get to see Lucio, slowly become wondering what is going on. It's like, am I the one committing all these billings, or is it someone else? And we get to see him talk. We get to see him question and stuff like that. So it's actually interesting to see the director, who's also an actor, but also directing at the same time, which I always can appreciate. Go enough, with his beard and everything. He does stand out. It just looks right, I guess. And I'm like, okay then. Then of course we get to see pretty much everything that I've said. 95 minutes. It does not overstay its welcome, but at the same time, it is effective with its pacing, because at once it's both slow but also enjoyable at the same time. Does it reach for any heights of trying to be this big narrative epic? No, not even close. It's here to kind of show, like I said, what would happen if one were to become truly disturbed by the effects of media on their brain, and they don't have the proper outlet for it. That's what I've noticed. And I also noticed that this was kind of like I guess, take on his own career, and by having like some of his movies be included in here is kind of like I don't want to say swan song, but knowing that his career was starting to decline because he had a broken foot or something like that. No, his health was starting to decline, I think from smoking or something. And he felt like, okay, I'm just going to go do the conventions that I'm famous for one last time, and we're going to go out having fun. That's what we're going to do. Hitchcock had it for a family plot with the driving scene, the people in the wrong place at the wrong time, the woman, etc. That's what this is like. It was like his last run. I know he did a couple more, but I feel like this is his last hooray. And you know what? That's fine. Originally, the script was 49 minutes, and there would have not really been that much dialogue. It would have just been like a lot of driving, close-ups with the usual gore that he's famous for and stuff like that, as if to make one pay attention to the script, to the visuals going on, since film is a visual form rather than it being like a book. And but ultimately decide, yeah, we'll have dialogue when needed, but we'll just focus on the visuals. And it works it's just so damn well here that I'm just like, good. And this was also, I think, one of the few times he appeared on camera. Apparently, he didn't trust himself enough to deliver the dialogue, so he had someone else overdub himself, even in Italian, which I can understand. Some people are just happier behind the scenes rather than just being in front, you know? So it's like, hey, good on him for that. Oh, yeah, and the music complements it well. There is, what is that? At the Mountains of Madness, not the H.P. Lovecraft one, but you know the use this for the more when the wrath gets incurred, or for some of the more tense moments. I like that, and I also like during one scene when a person is getting pretty much slaughtered. There's also some like heavenly music, as if to say that they have reached divinity, or this is an apotheosis moment to reach pretty much godhood. And it was just used ironically, which I like so much. It just complements the great fun time that one can have watching this. So yeah. So for the cat in the brain, do I recommend this? Yes, but only yes. For all the gore and the blood and everything else. If you like that, then I highly recommend that you watch this sucker.